agricultural news, information, interviews, in-depth weather, and more. It's Terry Henne and his Farm Show on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW and online WSGW.com.
A mostly sunny good morning to you. I hope your day is going well for you, wherever you might be. Beautiful fall day as we start off this morning, moving through the morning hours. A little bit of a breeze out there, so it cools things down just a little bit. But the sunshine, very welcome. We'll take it. Humidity levels dropping. But as we go into the afternoon, we're going to see some clouds. The last time I took a look, Matthew Lester here at Radio Center, we weren't looking at any clouds here, but a little bit further to the north, Upper Peninsula, a few more clouds. Kinross was reporting some light rain, Iron Mountain, Houghton, and Ironwood. So you kind of get an idea of where the rain is right now, and also in Wisconsin and northern sections of Illinois. So that's something to look forward to a little bit later on. But right now, on the thermometer, what do you have?
Well, over at the airport, it's sunny at 59. Over in Midland, it's sunny at 60. Here at Radio Center, it's sunny at 61. We have west winds at 12 miles per hour, and our pressure's at 29.88, and it's steady.
Yeah, maybe another degree or two, and that's going to be about it. The wind is going to pick up a little bit, but not much. Actually, we're going to see more of a wind coming out of the northwest during the day tomorrow. We'll have wind gusts up to 30 miles per hour tomorrow. And the temperature is going to be about 10 degrees cooler than what it is right now. So it is definitely going to feel like fall. The colors, everything is going to start to really come around. So for even northern Michigan, where we're not seeing a lot of color, things should begin to turn around here by next weekend. Shouldn't be all that bad as long as we don't get a gale or something to blow the leaves all around. But off on the East Coast, they do have some gales in effect out there. The remnants of what is right now Philippe, is that all of that activity is going to move up into the Maine, Nova Scotia, in that area. And that low is actually going to move into Quebec province and then eventually dissipate and break down to the southeast of Hudson Bay, well up in Canada. So kind of unusual, the pathway of that system. But what that means for us is that in combination with a high pressure system, which is taking shape over the Canadian Rockies, dropping down into and around the Dakotas, that eventually that high is going to be moving into and around the central part of the continental United States. So the West Coast, they're going to stay warm. Matter of fact, they'll be looking at 80s and 90s right in the southwest corner of the continental United States. And some pretty warm weather all the way up into Oregon and Washington State and Montana. But as far as the central part of the country, that's where the cold air is going to be, again, because of that high and because of that low in eastern Canada. So as a result, we're going to be looking at temperatures about 10 degrees below average for this time of the year. We should be at 65 for a high, 45 for a low. We'll watch the low temperatures as we move into the weekend. Right now, I'm anticipating a low on Saturday night here in the Great Lakes Bay area of about 38, 39 degrees. Maybe some of you won't even drop down below 40. And then on Sunday night, it'll be probably a couple degrees cooler. So 37, 36 for a low on Sunday night. But then on Monday, moving into the work week next week, those temperatures are going to begin to rise, but very slowly, because that low pressure system is blocking everything from moving to the east. And as a result, we're going to continue to see some temperatures below average all the way through Thursday. We're not anticipating a high temperature of 60 until the tail end of next week. So because of the colder air, the warmer lake temperatures, where we're looking at lake temperatures 59, 60, 62 degrees, things should really look like more clouds than sun, and maybe a little glimpse, a chance of some showers as we go through the work week next week. But let's a little bit closer to home here. 62 is our projected high, sun, clouds moving in as we go through the day, and then some scattered shower activity in the Great Lakes Bay area starting about 5, maybe 6 o'clock this afternoon. Showers will be around tonight, 46 for a low. Sun will set at 7:09, rise tomorrow morning at 7:41. It'll be clearing off a little bit late, more than likely after midnight tonight is when we'll see the clouds kind of thin out a little bit. But tomorrow, we're going to start off with glimpses of sun, maybe a little bit of sun, but much cooler temperatures. 52 will be our projected high for tomorrow. 40, I think, for a low on Saturday night. We'll have a northwest wind that will be gusting up to 30 miles per hour tomorrow. And then tomorrow night, we're still going to have a gusty wind out of the northwest, 20, 25 miles per hour, 38 for a low. Then on Sunday, 52 for a high, 37 for a low. We'll still have that northwest wind, 20 to 25 miles per hour. So it is definitely going to feel like fall, a lot more like the end of October, first part of November, fall. But then as we work our way, as I said, through the work week next week, we'll start off in the low 50s on Monday, mid 50s on Tuesday, upper 50s on Wednesday, close to 60 on Thursday. And then I think we'll be pretty close to normal as we move into next weekend. Overall, through the 19th of the month, temperatures will be averaging slightly below normal. Precipitation patterns also slightly below normal as well. How much rain did you get in your rain gauge? Well, some folks I can ask, and 3/10, 4/10, maybe a half inch. That seems to be it for a lot of folks in the Great Lakes Bay area. Although out at MBS International Airport, it was 7/10. Now, over in Huron County, very common, 1/4 of an inch to 1/3 of an inch from all of the reporting stations. Saginaw County, 3/4 of an inch in the Chesaning area. Frankenmuth, close to 4/10. Saginaw looking at anywhere from a half inch to 7/10 all around the county. Tuscola County, Back 40 and Richville had just under a half inch. Vassar looking at 4/10. Caro 3/10. Cass City at 3/10 as well. But then you get down closer to the 69 corridor. Shiawassee County, Owasso, better than an inch and a tenth. Durand, an inch, a little bit better than an inch. Genesee County, Linden, 1.3. Burton, 3/4 of an inch. Goodrich, 3/4 of an inch. Lapeer had 9/10 of an inch. Then you get closer to Ann Arbor, more than an inch of rain there. Then you start to track a little bit to the west. And some of you have been hearing about rain around the Lansing area, Charlotte, Muskegon, Kalamazoo, Battle Creek, in that area. Very common to see 1 3/4 to more than 2 inches. Battle Creek had more than 2.5 inches officially at the airport, and some unofficial locations close to 3 inches in that part of the state. Charlotte was 2 3/10 of an inch there. Ionia looking at 7/10. Marshall looking at an inch. The Mount Pleasant area, though, looking at 3/10 of an inch. This was from 8 o'clock yesterday morning till 8 o'clock this morning. Mount Pleasant had picked up close to 3/10, a little bit more than that, before 8 o'clock yesterday morning. So many areas in the west, and especially in the southernmost sections of the Lower Peninsula, were picking up well over an inch, and in some cases, cumulative over a couple of days, more than 3 inches of rain. Very common there. As a matter of fact, over the last 24 hours, Van Buren County, almost every reporting station had at least 1 1.25 inches of rain. We're looking at, in Van Buren County, a couple locations more than 2 inches. In Kalamazoo, officially at the airport, was 2.4 inches of rain. So that just gives Allegan looking at more than 2 inches. Northern Michigan, not nearly as much. The bulk of their precipitation came yesterday morning through mid-morning yesterday. More on the weather as we go through the broadcast. Standing by, Matthew, who do we have?
Up next, we have Cody Harris from Star of the West and Doug Klein from Oppenheimer.
But before we get to those folks, we want to remind you the weather forecast brought to you by the folks at Nutrient Ag Solutions.
Nutrient Ag Solutions has the local expertise to recommend the corn, soybean, and other seed products that are the best fit for your field. Plus, unparalleled agronomic support with products and services to unlock yield potential and improve crop performance from planting to harvest. Ask about our financing options to help you get more from every acre and lead the field. Visit your local Nutrient Ag Solutions branch or go to nutrientagsolutions.com.
Say, do you want to unlock the secret to higher yields? If you're applying dry fertilizer, the key to better yield potential is Titan XC. Titan XC is a fertilizer biocatalyst that unlocks and releases the bound-up nutrients in granular fertilizer, promoting better root uptake and plant growth. Drive performance this season and beyond. Release more nutrition. Expect better results with Titan XC. For more information, visit lpi.ag/unlock or contact your Nutrient Ag Solutions crop consultant today. Taking a look at the markets, Cody Harris over at Star of the West. It looks like yesterday or maybe the day before when you gave them last were a little bit better than today.
Yeah, it looks like we're not coming in the weekend too hot here today. It's definitely a down day coming in here on the last day of the week for our last trading day of the week. But yesterday, I will say, at least I'll give a little bright news. We're still up compared to if you put yesterday and the day together, but we are down today. I guess diving right into it, we got cash wheat that's down 3 at the moment. 535 on the white, 465 on the red. New crop 2024 wheat, that's down 3 as well. 629 on the white, 554 on the red. Looking at cash and new crop corn, that's down 3 at 429. And then cash and new crop soybeans, they're down 7 here this morning at 1194.
So looking at the week, we're trending a little bit to the downside. What, other than the wheat?
That's correct. Yeah, no, I haven't got the numbers right in front of me. I know wheat, I believe for the week is up about 20 cents, and then, but like you said, soybeans and corn's down. I believe it was 6 or 7 cents from the start of the week, and soybeans are the ones that's taking the big hit. They're down more than that. I'd have to tally that up, but you're correct. Wheat's kind of the only shining bright spot here this week.
I'm just kind of curious. We're hearing all sorts of comments about yield with the soybeans around the area. There's a lot of producers pretty happy right now with what they're getting out of the field. Is that so much the case in other parts of the country? What are you hearing?
Well, I guess as far as other parts of the country, you're correct. I know out west, kind of in, let's say, western Iowa, kind of Kansas area, where we really thought that dry weather really affected those beans. Yields are better than expected. Guys are pleasantly happy out that way. In addition to that, southern Illinois, the same way. Everyone kind of seemed kind of put beans off. They didn't look that well kind of throughout the entire growing season, but yields are at average, maybe slightly above average, kind of across that region. So I would say that it's very similar to what we're seeing here. Kind of, I guess, the weather throughout the summer, this dry, kind of hot weather that most of the country saw, we thought maybe affected beans more than it really did. So I know we'll probably be, I think USDA says we might be about halfway done with harvest come maybe Sunday. That'll give us a good idea. But everyone that I've talked to and some brokers even out west are even saying yields look really good, or at least a lot better than they were previously expecting before harvest.
My guess is a lot of soybeans came off the last couple of days before that rain. Yeah,
especially locally here, we had a pretty good chunk come off. I know a little break yesterday, obviously, but I would say we got, maybe 20% or so beans done here locally in the Saginaw Valley region. But like I said, out west and in the I-states, they're really chewing up through some beans right now, and progress is really moving along, which I think is what you're seeing, a little pressure on the bean market here right now. A little better yields. Harvest has been going relatively smooth, so that's putting just a little bit of pressure on that market.
I think you're right there. Cody, you have a great day and a nice weekend, okay?
Yes, you as well, guys. Thank you.
Will do. Cody Harris over at Star of the West. Doug Klein from Oppenheimer joining us right now. The Market Report brought to you by Thumb Bank, serving the needs of agriculture for well over 125 years. And they do have 13 locations throughout the Thumb and the Great Lakes Bay region to serve you. Thumb Bank, where relationships are built on trust. And by Schaefer and Beerline. The seasons are changing, and so is the new Ram truck inventory at Schaefer and Beerline. The 2023 heavy duties are still coming in and the 2024 1500s are arriving. So if you're in the market for a new Ram 1500, a Ram heavy-duty pickup, a ProMaster van, or a Ram commercial truck, and you want to buy with confidence from a business-linked dealer that knows what customer satisfaction truly is, it's time to go to Schaefer and Beerline in Frankenmuth, where family and service sells cars. Morning, Doug. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Boy, I tell you, I understand that the White House has got a sale on dog bones right now.
I'll take him.
Yep. Pennies on the dollar.
He's a good pooch. Oh my!
He shows no favorites, did he?
Yeah, right.
Unbelievable.
Oh, man.
And that's what that's what the media has to talk about is a biting dog.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, who knows? The job numbers came in today a little too hot, higher than expected openings or whatever it was, and so interest rates went back up to a 16-year high, and the stock market took a dive this morning. But then the speculators came in and made the short sellers nervous. So the market's actually up almost 1% across the board today. So that's kind of interesting how fast they can flip that over. But Bank of America says that apparently everybody is on Ozempic now. So their eating habits have completely changed. They're taking this diabetes drug to lose weight. And so all the food stocks are in trouble, according to Bank of America.
Of course.
Yeah, it's over. Just Kellogg's and all, Campbell's soup, everybody's done. So ultimately, it's ridiculous. But we're seeing a few new lows again. Detroit Edison hit another new low today. Kellogg's hit a new low today. I don't know. Eventually the dividends hold them back up, but the momentum is still there on the downside for those guys. So anyway, yeah, the grains are going down again today. Crude oil is steady. Dollar's down a little bit, and precious metals getting a little bit of a bounce out of that with silver actually up about 3%, 70 cents. So anyway, so here's your numbers. December corn, 494.5, down 3 cents. March corn, 509 3/4, down 2.5. November soybeans, 12.75 1/4, down 6 1/4. The March soybeans, 13.07, down 5 3/4. December wheat, 5.75 1/4, down 3, and March wheat is 6.03 3/4, down 3 1/4. Crude oil is 82.57, up 26 cents. Heating oil is 289.73, that's up 2.9 cents. Gasoline is 219.80, that's up a penny, and probably should put us around 285 at the pump someday. Natural gas is 329 3/4 of a penny. That's up 13 1/4, and I heard somewhere that that's about an 8-month high. So that's starting to get some traction. We'll see. Over to currencies, Canadian dollar, U.S. dollar buys $1.3658 at the border. That's down 46 ticks. The dollar buys 149.08 yen. That's up 58 ticks. The euro's at 105.95, up 47 ticks. The dollar's at 105.97, down 36 ticks. Gold's at 1829.80, up 13.20. Silver's 21.72, up 70 cents. Platinum's at 850.50, down $2.30.
Have a good weekend, Doug.
Thanks. Yep, you too.
You betcha. Doug Klein over at Oppenheimer. Farm Service brought to you today by the folks at Freeland Bean and Grain. Getting that soil ready. Yeah, putting some fertilizer on it, kind of just building it up as you get done with the harvest. Might be a really good idea to get in contact with the folks at Freeland Bean and Grain, specifically Vic Hupfer, who's a certified crop advisor. He can lead you in the right direction to get everything taken care of here as we roll into fall harvest. Freeland Bean and Grain, serving you since 1983, where serving you is their business. When we return, Craig Voorhees with a Rummel Agency will be joining us, but first this.
The versatile Kubota B-Series is a do-it-all tractor. Run powerful attachments that can be easily switched out. It features a hydrostatic transmission and is simple to maintain. The Kubota B-Series. It makes the hard work look easy. Talk to your local Kubota dealer today to schedule a demo. Built upon a solid foundation of cast iron and steel, the Kubota L Series is part of our under 100 horsepower tractor lineup rated #1 for reliability. They feature powerful Kubota diesel engines and easy operation. The durable Kubota L Series. Talk to your local Kubota dealer today to schedule a demo. Go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
See Kim Weiss at Lingle Equipment, 3001 Sawyer Drive along I-75 at the M81 Carroll exit just south of the Zilwaukee Bridge, Saginaw. Call Kim today at 989-754-7801 or email at k.weiss@lingle1.com.
Predictability in farming is next to impossible until now. Pivot Bio provides more reliable, more predictable source of nitrogen. Pivot Bio delivers nitrogen directly to the plant throughout the growing season because it adheres directly to the root. Pivot Bio doesn't wash away in the rain. Plant more predictability next season with Pivot Bio. Learn more at pivotbio.com or get a hold of Don Morris, 989-239-2791, or Allie Morris at 989-780-3770 to get the latest on Pivot Bio for your operation. We say good morning to Craig Voorhees from the Rummel Agency. And Craig, finally the weather is starting to turn a little bit. Folks are going to begin to think about putting some of the summer fun away in storage.
Yes, Terry, that is correct. And we always get a few phone calls this time of the year from folks asking about, what if I'm going to lease out my building and let people store their boats and toys and campers in my pole barn for the year or for the winter? And that's certainly doable. You want to make sure that the folks that are putting their toys in your building maintain the insurance on those, because your policy would not cover them. You want to make sure the folks know that too. And then you do want to check with your agent just to make sure your policy has everything it needs. There's a little bit of a liability piece that we typically have to add to a farm policy so that when those folks are on your property, you're protected by your policy in case they file a lawsuit against you. So it's nothing major, but it's still a good thing to double check and make sure it's in place.
Boy, that is a good idea. You have a nice weekend. We'll talk to you next week, Craig.
Thanks, Terry. You too.
Will do. Craig Voorhees with the Rummel Agency. Let's get a little bit more information on what we should be doing in the front yard or the backyard with Chuck Servinski at Maple Hill Nursery. Chuck, what should we be doing right now?
You know, now we're starting to do our cleanup in our garden, and if your garden was plagued with pests this past summer, utilizing an integrated pest management practice now, such as cutting back, removing foliage and stems of plants that may have been infected this summer, will give you a leg up on insect and disease invasion next year. Some of these insects lay eggs on the underside of leaves, which are going to hatch out next spring if you leave them alone. And it's a good idea to put these clippings from plants in a pile away from where they are now. That way, if there are eggs from pest presence now, they will not spread to other plants nearby. Remember to cut stems all the way back to the ground. This also helps immensely, as things like slugs will hide deep in the petioles of things like hostas and daylilies and hide out. And really thorough garden cleanup now is also going to allow sunlight and air to dry out the soil surface, and that really will help suppress some of the pathogens that are going to thrive in the piled up leaf litter from fall.
So for more information on all of this, how do we get a hold of you, Chuck?
You can get a hold of us here at the store at 989-835-4708 or visit our website, www.maplehillmidland.com.
Chuck Servinski, talk to you again next week, all righty?
Have a great day.
I will. Chuck Servinski, Maple Hill Nursery. Let's get a little bit more information on what we should be doing around out in those farm fields. Stephanie Zelenko with AgriLiquid joining me right now. And Stephanie, what are you advising producers do right now?
So the two biggest things that I'm looking at this time of year is, number one, as we sit in those combines and harvesters running across the field, take note of those good and bad spots, whether you have a yield monitor or just watching the grain go in. You can get a good idea of, where you have really good yields and those less than ideal yields, and then go out and take a soil test in those challenge spots just so you can figure out what's going on, how to make adjustments for the future. The other thing I'm talking to guys about now is start thinking about those dry applications for the fall. If you're going to balance that soil with a dry potash or MAP or DAP application or even a lime application, now is the time to start planning for that.
Good advice. Stephanie, you take care. We'll talk to you again next week, okay?
You too. Thank you.
You betcha. Stephanie Zelenko with AgriLiquid. We'll be right back.
Spot less. Introducing the cleanup for tar spot, gray leaf spot, southern rust, and more. Novel next generation Adastrio fungicide broadens your spectrum and strengthens your residual when it comes to foliar disease control in corn. Visit your FMC retailer or adastrio.ag.fmc.com to clean up this season. Follow 2EE for tar spot management in corn. Valid until 1/31/28. Always read and follow all label directions.
Great opportunities the next couple of days to get that equipment ready to go. Harvest will be kicking in here once again as we roll into next week. Back at 12:30 with an update. Now we conclude our program with the playing of our national anthem.
From the pre